In 2003, Cynthia Lunceford was chosen from more than 40,000 Americans to feature in the TV program Extreme Makeover. She dreamt of having a LASIK eye surgery performed to improve her poor eyesight. But she got more of a makeover than she expected. Because of her severe hearing loss, her ears were also tested, and she became the first person in the United States to be offered the brand new digital hearing aid from Widex, the Sensodiva SD19.
I wanted three things. I wanted to see if they could help me with my eyes, because I depended on my eyes for lip reading, to help me with hearing things, basically by seeing what people were saying. And I was losing my eyesight, so my world was closing in, because not only was I not hearing, but now I wasn't seeing, and it was getting more difficult. And my teeth were, I have a genetic situation in my family where the enamel comes off the teeth, and so that was something that needed some attention. And then I thought, well, how about a tummy tuck? Let's just throw that in for fun. I actually downplayed my hearing loss because I thought that the people at Extreme Makeover would say, you know, that's just too difficult. We don't want to fool with that. And it turns out that was the very thing that they were most interested in. They wanted to help me hear better.
Thanks to her new hearing aid, Cynthia can now use her energy traveling and enjoying herself without wasting her time overcoming communication barriers. This time, she chose Copenhagen as her relaxing holiday destination.
Hi, good morning. How may I assist you?
With the Lunceford, we have a reservation.
Enclosed here, you'll find two...
The severity of my hearing loss when I was born was such that I probably had about 35% of the normal hearing. But as I got into my teen years, my hearing loss did decline. So by the time I was in my early 20s, my hearing loss was down to about 10% of normal hearing. If a car was honking behind me, I wouldn't be able to hear it.
Now this is what a person with normal hearing would hear when sitting next to a cello being played. But because of Cynthia's hearing loss, she only hears around 10% of what a person with normal hearing would. Without wearing a hearing aid, for her, the same situation would sound like this.
With my old hearing aids in a restaurant, it's very noisy. In order for me to hear the soft sounds in the speech, they would make that louder, but the louder sounds would be even louder. So I was still having to figure my way through the sound, so to speak. What's the speech? What do I really want to hear? And gosh, you're tired. It's exhausting. It was difficult for me to hear the people, know what was going on, especially in a setting if there was more than one person. This person over here would say something, and the person over here might say something. And I know this person over here is saying something only because I see everyone else looking that way. By the time I get there, they're finished. And now they're looking this way. And so I'm just playing catch up and not getting very much of it. And they'll tell a joke or they'll laugh, and I'll be like, wait, what was that? What was that?
No, it's okay. So, it's good.
We are now in the area called Questions.
The Sensodiva is built on groundbreaking technology that virtually thinks for its user. With the Sensodiva, Cynthia is now able to communicate easily with the world around her without having to rely on a front row seat to be able to lip read. The locator in the hearing aid does all the hard work for her.
The locator system in the Sensodiva hearing aid will shield the ear of the hearing aid user in noisy environments from sounds coming from the side and from the back, and will focus the attention of the hearing aid to the sounds arriving from the front.
In a noisy environment such as a dinner party, it would be almost impossible for Cynthia to follow a conversation like this across the table. She would experience a jumble of sounds and incomplete sentences. Sensodiva focuses on what you see and suppresses irrelevant noise.
This is really crazy because he's a millionaire.
Cynthia is 50 years old. She lives in New Orleans with her husband Lloyd and their 3 children. As a close relative, Lloyd is used to dealing with Cynthia's hearing loss on a daily basis.
If I wanted to talk with her, I couldn't just call her from the next room or even from across the same room. I'd have to walk to wherever she was and touch her or tap her on the shoulder to get her attention, where she could turn around and look at me while I speak. And that requires extra effort on my part. And sometimes, you're tired or you're busy, and it's a pain to have to do that. And so sometimes the irritation would show through, or you'd have to repeat yourself several times, and you'd become impatient, or you would speak more forcefully or emphatically just to be heard. But by the time she hears you, she thinks you're angry. Because she's just hearing you for the first time, and she hasn't heard you try 2 or 3 times at louder volumes. And so she would think I was upset with her when I wasn't, and it would get in the way of a good relationship.